Of course, happy to do it.
Thank you. Later, we are going to watch Auburn University's SGA debate right here. Jack, how are you feeling tonight?
I'm feeling great. I'm a little bit relieved that this is the back end of the year, but also I'm really excited to see all the candidates tonight, let them speak about their platforms and just see them just shine tonight. So I'm really excited.
So you were here last year, and how did you feel about the debate then?
You know, it's a very different feeling, I will say that. I think last year I was definitely really nervous, but also really excited. So I probably felt like I had 5 cups of coffee before this. I was really amped up.
That's great. And how do you see the North End Zone project carrying on to the next administration?
Yeah, I see it really being a big item for the next administration. I think this is something that the whole university, not just SGA, are talking about right now, and something that students are definitely really concerned about because it's something that can be such an asset to the student body and be a place where community is built, new relationships are formed, and just further that Auburn family.
Great. And what advice do you have for everyone here tonight?
I would say my #1 piece of advice tonight would be to just breathe. Just listen to the question, breathe, and realize that you know, everybody's listening, but at the same time, like, you've prepared for this. All you got to do is just say what you've been practicing.
Thank you so much. Everyone, outgoing SGA President Jack Hilton.
Thank you.
We'll be back soon with a rundown of the major SGA candidates.
There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had so many children, she didn't know what to do. She gave them some broth without any bread and kissed them all soundly.
Lights out.
Good night. And put them to bed. Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org.
I was living in a shelter juggling 3 jobs. I had to be resilient. That's something that you can't teach.
You can achieve a lot using your imagination. I mean, I don't like to brag, but... Wait, who's that? And why is she all over these achievement awards? But with STEM, the sky's the limit. Shaboom! Use STEM to envision... Okay, I'm seeing it. Yeah! Invent...
Got any ideas?
I've got a few, actually. And create a better world.
Told you she's super smart.
If she can STEM, so can you. Find out more at She Can STEM.
Yeah! Sam, Elmo!
Oh, hey, Julia. Are you ready to play band with us? I'm gonna play my clarinet.
And Elmo's gonna play his drum. Drum loud.
Oh, well, you know what to do, Julia.
Julia knows.
With Julia's autism, loud sounds can be too much.
But she still loves to make music. Play band.
Early screening for autism can make a lifetime of difference. Find out more at screenforautism.org.
Put the keys down, Kevin.
But I'm gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
My text to emoji ratio has gotten a little out of hand.
A little?
Yep, I'm definitely gonna call a ride home.
Yo, Scott.
Hey.
I'm heading out, man. You want to ride?
No, I got my car, but I actually really need to go to the bathroom.
Oh, you know what? I was just in there. The line is like 10 people long.
You know, I think I'll just...
Dude, are you okay?
You wouldn't believe what I was just thinking. I am definitely buzzed.
Yeah.
I think I will take this, and I will take that ride home.
Smart man.
Did you see how that dog was looking at me?
Welcome to Eagle Eye TV's 2025 SGA Debate Show. I'm Alice Estes.
And I'm Ben Bradfield. We're extremely excited to be covering tonight's debate. But first, we'd like to give our thanks to WTVM for joining us and making this show possible.
Tonight's debate will begin momentarily. In the meantime, let's meet the nominees.
Starting with the candidates for Miss Auburn, the most competitive position this year with 5 candidates running for the title.
Each Miss Auburn candidate developed their own platform, highlighting the plans and initiatives they would enact if elected to the position. Here are the 5 women running and their platforms.
Hi Auburn family, my name is Kendall Anderson and I'm a junior majoring in wildlife sciences pre-veterinary medicine. Over the past few years, I've had the honor of serving through Freshman Forum as a part of SGA Cabinet and through various roles in the College of Forestry. Now I'm asking for your support as I run for Miss Auburn with my platform, Keep Climbing with Kendall. Life at Auburn is like a mountain hike. It's full of choices, challenges, and moments when the trail isn't clear, but every step shapes the journey, and my goal as Miss Auburn is to empower students to navigate their own unique path. The path you pursue is all about helping students discover what truly impacts them. I'll work to spotlight smaller organizations so every student has the chance to explore opportunities that align with their goals and values. The obstacles you overcome reminds us that every hiker faces challenges. Rejection and setbacks aren't roadblocks, they're stepping stones. I want to focus on creating a culture that normalizes struggle as a vital part of growth. The time you take speaks to the patience required on any hike. Reaching the summit isn't immediate, and finding your place at Auburn shouldn't feel rushed either. I'll encourage students to embrace their journey, knowing that meaningful growth takes time. As Miss Auburn, I work to create a campus rooted in authenticity, resilience, and confidence. Let's keep climbing Auburn. War Eagle.
War Eagle. My name is Ellen Cannell, and I'm so honored to have the opportunity to run for Miss Auburn. My platform centers on the creed stanza, I believe in the human touch, which cultivates sympathy with my fellow men and mutual helpfulness and brings happiness for all. I aim to personify this line by encouraging connections between students, alumni, and the Auburn family. As a first-generation Auburn student, I've formed many relationships at Auburn through service. Serving as the philanthropy chairwoman of my sorority has shown me the power of collective impact and how service brings people together and enriches our community. As Vice President of Student Recruiters, I've had the privilege of engaging with prospective students and highlighting what makes Auburn truly special. It's about sharing the values and connections that set us apart and inspire the next generation of the Auburn family. Finally, I hope to capitalize on Auburn's impressive alumni network, a group eager to mentor and invest in students. Strengthening these bonds between alumni and current students creates personal and professional growth opportunities. My Auburn experience has taught me that every interaction is a chance to form a meaningful connection. I'm honored to be considered for Miss Auburn and look forward to celebrating the spirit of the Auburn family with all of you. War Eagle.
War Eagle, y'all. My name is Sophie Marino, and I'm a junior from Auburn, Alabama, majoring in exercise science with a minor in HDFS in hopes of pursuing a career in physical therapy. I'm so honored to be a top 5 candidate for Miss Auburn this year. My passion for facilitating student connections and serving this campus began during the second night of my Camp War Eagle session in Jordan-Hare Stadium, when I heard Coach Bruce Pearl offer his personal email address to every student, promising to help them make the most of their 4 years at Auburn. Throughout my time at Auburn, I have been blessed to have the support of those who have gone before me to help guide me along my path to leadership and service. Through casual conversations, getting connected with local alumni, and utilizing Auburn's vast resources, I have been able to find opportunities that have allowed me to fuel my passion for leading and serving others. My platform, Soar with Sophie, is geared towards helping each student start with their why, own every opportunity, and remember that when one door closes, another one can open. By continuing to foster self-directed student growth at Auburn, I hope to help students realize that whatever their goal is, no matter how big or small, the sky's the limit and they can truly soar.
Hey y'all, my name is Riley Parman and I'm a global studies major from Kansas City, Missouri. It is such an honor to be embraced as part of the Auburn family, first as a student and now as a Miss Auburn candidate. This has already been a wonderful opportunity to advocate for a platform that has deeply shaped my Auburn experience. My platform seeks to address one of our generation's greatest challenges, disbelief in our ability to solve big problems. It's centered around the line of the creed, I believe in education, which gives me the knowledge to work wisely and trains my mind and my hands to work skillfully. The focus of my platform is empowering students to use their 4 years at Auburn to leverage their education to serve both the university and the greater community. The Auburn experience provides the tools to create change in areas we care about, whether it's politics, sustainability, athletics, or beyond. This platform encourages students to take action by using those tools to stay rooted in their passions, educations, and campus community. If given the opportunity to serve as Miss Auburn, I'm excited to continue promoting these ideals and to encourage each student to make the most of this time. Remember to get rooted with Riley and War Eagle, y'all.
This week, I want to shed light on the incredible community we have here at Auburn. As Auburn students, every single one of us is given the chance to pursue our passions and dreams. I wish to encourage students to discover what they wish to pursue on campus and make use of the hundreds of organizations and thousands of connections that Auburn has to offer. I want to establish a healthy line of communication between students and faculty that equips everyone with the information and skills to find their niche on campus. Finally, the most beautiful part of Auburn is its unique and diverse community. Relationships gained in college are ones that can last a lifetime, and I want to promote student-peer mentorships and friendships. The wisdom and kindness of older students imparted to younger students serves to empower everyone to achieve their dreams.
Moving on from the most competitive position to the least competitive, let's take a look at the treasurer position.
This year, we only have one candidate running, and here is her platform.
War Eagle. My name is Haley Bergenthal, and I am honored to run to become Auburn's next SGA treasurer. My time at Auburn University has been a very meaningful experience. Each encounter I have had on this campus has shaped the person I am today. I walked into my freshman year unsure where to find my place, and I was met time and time again by members of SGA. I have thoroughly enjoyed my past 3 SGA positions, the last of which has been AVP of Finance, working directly under the current treasurer. In this role, my team of directors and I have focused on currency. If elected, I want to broaden this focus beyond physical currency, but also the currency of our everyday lives. By banking on Bergenthal, students are investing in the resources present at Auburn, appreciating the wealth we have as Auburn students, and banking on their futures as Auburn alumni. We are lucky to call ourselves current Auburn students and forever members of the Auburn family. Thank you.
Next, we have the candidates for vice president. This year, there are 2 candidates running, Buckley Nettles and Emma Frances Zellner.
Let's hear from our candidates on what their platforms are going into this election.
Hey Auburn family, my name is Buckley Nettles, and it is an absolute honor to have the opportunity to run to be your next SGA Vice President. If elected as SGA Vice President, I will use my voice to unite the student body and provide everyone with a deeper understanding of the core values of SGA through my 3 main points: communicate, educate, and participate. As Vice President, I will aim for every student at Auburn to feel welcome in approaching any member of the Student Senate, whether through participating in open forum or attending their college's office hours. I will increase education across campus on all branches, outreach and campus initiatives, and legislation. And I will ensure that other students have the resources and support they need to feel like they belong. I hope y'all will buckle up with Buckley February 7th. Thank you, and War Eagle.
War Eagle, my name is Emma Frances Zellner, and I am so honored to have the opportunity to run for SGA Vice President. My platform focuses on 3 main points: enhancing the student experience, emphasizing our resources, and encouraging the student body to be united. The role of SGA Vice President is crucial in opening doors of communication between SGA and students, as well as unifying the college's organizations and committees. It is my desire to put the needs of the student first in order to make Auburn a more welcoming and unified campus. Thank you, and War Eagle.
Finally, let's meet our 2025 candidates for SGA President.
This year's candidates are Owen Beaverstock and Jake Yon. Here are their platforms.
Hey everyone, my name is Owen Beaverstock, and I have the honor of running to be your SGA President this year. It truly is humbling to have the opportunity to potentially serve the place that has meant so much to me and stand alongside such a great group of candidates. The theme of our campaign comes from the words left behind by one of my closest friends from freshman year, Will Romanowski, which were "Be better than yesterday." One of my greatest privileges of college has been watching these words change my own and so many other guys around me lives for the better. Our mission now is to share Will's legacy and bring this theme to the rest of Auburn, which has helped inspire the platform of this campaign. It is such a blessing to be able to go to Auburn and experience the Auburn family that we all love. Many students, including myself, leave this school with some of the best memories, experiences, and friends of their life. My main goal as SGA President will be to do everything in my power to make Auburn an already amazing place even better than it already is, so that every student can come here and experience this and be a proud member of the Auburn family. I hope that you will join me in this goal, and by working together, we can make Auburn better than it was yesterday.
War Eagle Auburn students, my name is Jake Yon, and I'm running for SGA President. Today I want to share why this campaign is different. If you've been around Auburn for a while, you know how election week feels. SGA candidates flood your week asking for your attention, your time, and of course your vote. But let's be honest, most students feel like once campaign week ends, SGA disappears. You're late to class because you can't find parking. You wanted to live on campus, but you were turned away. It doesn't have to be this way. Auburn's SGA can be better. It can be an organization that truly works for students and tackles real issues like parking, housing, and more. It can be an SGA that all of campus feels connected to, not just during election week. I had the experience to make this vision a reality. In the Senate, I created legislation to let students pay off parking tickets with community service. I've been there. I'm having to move apartments because another high-rise is replacing affordable housing. I know these challenges, and I know how to fight for solutions. Auburn students deserve more, and together we can build an SGA that delivers. I believe in Auburn students. I believe that we can make it different. Vote February 7th. Yon to victory. War Damn Eagle.
And that is all for the candidate platforms. We're going to take a quick break as we count down to the debate.
When we return, we'll take a look at Eagle Eye's polls and to see projections for the race.
There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had so many children, she didn't know what to do. She gave them some broth without any bread and kissed them all soundly.
Lights out. Good night.
And put them to bed. Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org.
I was living in a shelter juggling 3 jobs. I had to be resilient. That's something that you can't teach.
You can achieve a lot using your imagination. I mean, I don't like to brag, but wait, who's that? And why is she all over these achievement awards? But with STEM, the sky's the limit. Shaboom! Use STEM to envision. Okay, I'm seeing it. Yeah. Invent.
Got any ideas?
I've got a few, actually. And create a better world.
Told you she's super smart.
If she can STEM, so can you. Find out more at She Can STEM.
Yeah, Sam, Elmo.
Oh, hey, Julia. You ready to play band with us? I'm gonna play my clarinet.
And Elmo's gonna play his drum. Drum loud.
Oh, well, you know what to do, Julia.
Julia knows.
With Julia's autism, loud sounds can be too much.
But she still loves to make music. Play band.
Early screening for autism can make a lifetime of difference. Find out more at screenforautism.org.
Put the keys down, Kevin.
But I'm gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
My text to emoji ratio has gotten a little out of hand.
A little?
Yep, I'm definitely gonna call a ride home.
Yo, Scott.
Hey.
I'm heading out, man. You want to ride?
No, I got my car, but I actually really need to go to the bathroom.
Oh, you know what? I was just in there. The line is like 10 people long.
You know, I think I'll just...
Dude, are you okay?
You wouldn't believe what I was just thinking. I am definitely buzzed.
Yeah.
I think I will take this and I will take that ride home.
Smart man.
Did you see how the dog was looking at me?
Welcome back to the 2025 SGA Debate Show.
There are only 12 minutes until the debate starts, and the polls are in. Let's take a look.
For the vice presidential position, Eagle Eye TV's unofficial online polls show Buckley Nettles polling 60%, with Emma Frances Zellner polling 40%.
For the unofficial presidential SGA polls, we have Owen Beaverstock with 33% of the vote and Jake Yon with 67%.
We'll remind you that this is an unofficial poll of Eagle Eye viewers from our Instagram. It appears we only have about 11 minutes until tonight's debate formally begins. Tonight's debate will be moderated by Eagle Eye's Sydney Babb, as well as the Auburn Plainsman's Sammy Grace Donnelly and WEGL's Ray Naraki.
Each candidate will get the opportunity to present opening remarks, answer questions from our moderators, give rebuttals, and finally, closing remarks. Tonight's debate will begin momentarily.
Association this year. I want to start off by thanking everyone who made this night possible, from the Student Activities Center staff to student media, and of course the SGA elections team. Thank you for all that you do. Over the course of the evening, we will hear from candidates seeking to lead the student body for the next year. Tonight's event will be separated into two parts. First, we will hear from our major candidates, treasurer, vice president, and presidential candidates, and they will be asked a series of questions by our moderators. Next, we will hear from our Miss Auburn candidates. The speaking order for all candidates is in alphabetical order based on their last name. These questions have not been approved or shared with any campaign. For the major candidates, questions will be directed toward the candidate who will have 1 minute to answer, and then each remaining candidate will be allowed a 45-second rebuttal. The debate will end with each candidate having the opportunity to give a closing statement. Thank you again for attending, and next I welcome to the stage this year's SGA President, Jack Hilton.
War Eagle, my name is Jack Hilton, and I serve as the current SGA President. Welcome to the 2025 Student Government Association debate. We are excited you are here. In traditional governmental debates, local and national news sources will serve as moderators for all public debates. To align with that structure and to provide for a real-world experience for all students participating, we will have Auburn University student media leaders as moderators for tonight's debate. Tonight's debate moderators are Sydney Babb, station manager for EETV, Sammy Grace Donnelly, editor-in-chief of the Auburn Plainsman, and Ray Naraki, station manager for WEGL 91.1. Now please join me in welcoming to the stage your 2025 treasurer candidate.
Haley, you will have 1 minute to deliver opening remarks, then we'll ask individual questions for you. You will have 1 minute and 30 seconds to answer your individual question, and then we'll ask for a 1 minute closing remark from you.
War Eagle, y'all. My name is Haley Bergenthal, and I'm honored to run to become your next SGA treasurer. This week has been so fun already, and I can't wait for voting day tomorrow. I just want to give you all a little brief introduction of my platform before we dive into the questions. So yesterday we focused on the concourse on investing, and to me, that's Auburn investing in its students, but the students investing right back in the resources that Auburn has provided us. And that looks like all the financial resources that they give us on the financial aid website, scholarships, anything that they have provided us with, and then any additional stuff that is to come in the next year. The next point is wealth, and that is the wealth and alumni that we have. We are more than happy to be Auburn students and have great alumni that want to pour into us, and it's finding a way to funnel that into students. And then finally, we're banking on the fact that when we graduate, we're going to be financially stable as Auburn alumni. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Haley. Many students are concerned with expensive dining options on campus. How would you advocate for more accessible and affordable options for all students?
Absolutely. I think that obviously food is something that we have to deal with every day in our everyday lives. And, you know, those that live on campus, their only options are to go to those dining halls. And so it's more than important that the dining halls are accessible and available. I think it's important to dive into what that money is going towards. You know, how is the dining hall spending it? You know, what is the food actually worth that we are buying for our dining halls? And I think diving into that and looking at where we can cut back costs, having those meetings with that dining hall is going to be the most important factor in that, so that we can get rid of any excessive costs for the students.
Thank you.
Haley, running unopposed is certainly a different dynamic. However, you've experienced that you're just as passionate and eager to engage with the student body. And the question we want to know is, what role does resume building play in your campaign?
Absolutely. So I came to Auburn knowing about 8 people, and I didn't know anybody, and so I had to come in here and I had to find my people. And where I found my people was in SGA. I interviewed for Freshman Forum, and I got the spot. I fell in love with it, and then I interviewed for Heyday, and I got a spot there, and it was awesome. And all of this wasn't fueled by me wanting to add stuff to my resume. It was fueled by the fact that I loved the people that I was surrounded by, and I loved the organization that I was a member of. I then chose to go for Assistant Vice President of Finance because I chose that I wanted to work with administrators, and that has been such an awesome experience this year. And now the next step for me is running for treasurer, whether that was opposed or unopposed, and I'm super excited for the year to come.
Haley, how do you feel your overall experience allows you to be prepared for this role of treasurer?
Absolutely. I've spent the last year as AVP of Finance working directly under our current treasurer. I've gotten to see the ins and outs of, not only the budget, but also what is happening for financial literacy and what we are providing our students with. I've gotten to be a part of a lot of the programs that our current treasurer has put into place, and I've been working on them continuously. And there are a lot that I'm going to carry over into the next term and that are going to keep going with me as I continue.
Thank you. For your closing remarks, overall, why would you make a good treasurer?
I think I would make a good treasurer because not only am I concerned with the budget and where our student activities fees are going, but I'm concerned with the student body as a whole. I sit back and I think about, I'm dealing with the physical currency of the money, the budget, all of that, but I also want to deal with the currency of our everyday lives, the connections we're making on campus with our professors, with our peers, and what fuels all of that. And so I think it's important to not only think about the budget in that aspect, but think about what is fueling that. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we will hear from our vice presidential candidates.
Buckley and Emma, you will have 1 minute each to deliver opening remarks, and then we'll individually ask you questions. You will have 1 minute to answer your question, and each of you will have 45 seconds for a rebuttal, and vice versa. Then we'll ask for 1 minute closing remark from each of you. Buckley, can we please hear your opening remarks? You have 1 minute.
War Eagle, my name is Buckley Nettles, and I'm a junior from Demopolis, Alabama, majoring in communications with minors in political science and business. I am so honored to run to be your next SGA Vice President. Over the past year, I've had the privilege of serving as Senator at Large, where I've researched legislation, co-chaired the Student Affairs Committee, and collaborated closely with my SGA peers. My peers within the Student Senate have pushed me to excel every single week, making Senate essential to my Auburn experience. My goal is to unify Auburn SGA with the entire student body while making sure every student can find their place on campus. My platform is based around 3 pillars: communication, education, and participation.
Awesome. Hey, y'all. My name is Emma Frances Zellner, and I'm from Auburn, Alabama, and I'm an accounting major. Just a little bit about my past. I've been a freshman senator in 2020, and then moving from there, I was on the Academic Affairs Committee as a business senator. And then this year, I had the honor and privilege of serving as Senate Pro Temp, which is right underneath the Vice President. Through that process, I got to see a lot of what SGA is going through and the things that students really are asking for and what they really need. My 3 points this week are going to be enhancing the student experience, emphasizing our resources, and encouraging the student body to be united. I really do believe that Auburn is one of the best campuses in the SEC, and I believe that through that, we need to listen to Auburn's student experience and know what the students are asking for. Thank y'all.
Buckley, you will have 1 minute, and Emma, you'll have a 45-second rebuttal. Buckley, how do you feel you can educate students on the core values of SGA if you are elected?
So as I said, one of my main points is education. I want to work to let every student know that they have their respective college senators, as well as senators at large, that can represent them and educate them on everything that goes on within SGA. One way I look to do this is having tabling days where they can go to their prospective college senators, as well as at large, to voice their concerns.
Yeah, so I think it's super important that communities know who's in charge of them. So for us, that looks like each student knowing who their senator is. I think it's super important that each college knows who their senators are, and those senators are in contact with the deans and other administration. This looks like liaisons and just communication between the senators and their own colleges.
Thank you.
Emma Francis, you'll have 1 minute to answer this question, and Buckley, you'll have 45 seconds to rebuttal. Emma Francis, what is a resolution SGA has reached in the past that inspires you in your own work?
Yeah, so being a part of SGA for so long, I've seen a lot of amazing things happen and come across the floor of Senate. One of my favorite things about SGA is actually the chance that these students that you've elected get to stand up and voice their opinions and really show what they care about. So actually what we're going to talk about later in this night is ranked choice voting. That was something that SGA brought forward and said, we care about the fact that your opinion matters and it matters who you put in order. I think that's a great example of something that SGA listened to students, really did care about what they believe in, and then turned around and wrote it in an initiative, talked about it with their committees, passed it through Senate Exec, and then it was on the floor of Senate, actually got to be debated, and then is now in place, which is a super awesome way that you get to see the full circle of what SGA gets to do.
Student Affairs this past year passed a resolution about fixing a sidewalk. Fixing a sidewalk may seem like a really small thing, but safety can look like something even bigger. We can look at proactive ways to increase safety among Auburn's campus, because when students feel safe, they are the best versions of themselves. So that sidewalk thing leads me to do more things within safety within SGA.
Thank you.
Buckley, you will have 1 minute to answer the question, and Emma, you have 45 seconds for your rebuttal. What is one resource on campus that you believe should be better encouraged that you would promote to improve the average student experience?
One of the resources on campus I think could be much better is Auburn Answers. Right now we go through cabinet to do that, but I think it needs to be much more proactive on campus so that every student knows where to go to have that and how they can directly contact their senators as well.
So this is actually my day 2 point. This is what we talked about on the concourse today, is emphasizing our resources. One of my favorite resources is the involvement suite. I think it's super important that students get to sit down with other students and talk about the issues that are going on. So this is a place where all the 500 plus organizations can hang out, talk about plans for the future, and talk about what they've done well in the past year. That's one of my favorite ones, and I wish that students knew more about it so that there could be more community building and more fellowship.
Thank you.
Emma Francis, you'll have 1 minute to answer this question, and Buckley, you'll have 45 seconds to rebuttal. Emma Francis, how do you plan on ensuring your campaign doesn't fade away after election week?
Yeah, so something I really am a firm believer in is that this is not about me. So none of this is about Emma Francis, which I think is a huge point that adds to what you were saying. My name does not have to live on after this campaign, but it's actually what I'm standing for, which is the Auburn voice and the Auburn student. So that's what my first point is, enhancing the student experience. That's really what I care about. So 5 years from now, if you don't know who Emma Francis is, that's amazing. As long as you know that the Auburn student experience is being bettered by each person and it's being championed by those students, that's really what I care about.
I think going back to my platform point of education kind of wraps that all up. I'll ensure Auburn student body is educated on the branches, initiatives, and legislation that comes through SGA. And by actively sharing this information with students, I believe we can create a more transparent and engaged campus community.
Amazing, thank you. You'll each have 1 minute to offer your closing remarks. Buckley, for your closing remarks, why would you make a good vice president?
I think I would make a great vice president because I've had the experience over the past year. Serving on Student Affairs Committee has shown me so much. I've been able to see different parts of campus, from housing to transportation, safety to the rec. I've been able to see a good view of everything that goes on campus, and I think I can have a great impact as your next vice president.
I just want to say thank you. This week has been so amazing, meeting each one of the individuals that have walked up on the concourse. I really am grateful for this experience. And another thing I'm grateful is for my past experience. Being a part of Senate for my 4 years at Auburn and being Senate Pro Temp has really taught me a ton about what the students need. I've gotten to see what this job requires, and I really do want to do it, and I want to do it well to serve the Auburn people, not for myself, but for the Auburn family, and the Auburn community. So I would love to be your next SGA Vice President because I truly believe that the Auburn student voice needs to be heard and it needs to be championed for, and I want to be the person to do that.
Thank you.
Thank you. You may now. Next, we will hear from our presidential candidates.
You will each have 1 minute to deliver opening remarks, then we'll ask individual questions for each candidate. Owen, you will have 1 minute to answer your question, and Jake, you will have 45 seconds for your rebuttal, and vice versa. Then we'll ask for a 1 minute closing remark from each of you. Owen, many students love that Auburn is a big school that feels small. However, Auburn continues to set records for itself in the size of incoming classes. Do you think that higher enrollment numbers are a good thing, and how will you advocate to ensure the quality and accessibility of Auburn's programs and services are not hurt by those larger numbers?
Absolutely. I do believe that it's a blessing and a privilege to have an institution that's competitive enough for more students that are in high school to want to attend them. So it is a good thing to have more students wanting to come here. That's a good thing because Auburn is that great. I do think, though, that we need to keep up with these rising numbers of freshman students by making sure that all of the other programs and services that this place offers are up to date with that number of people. One big part of our platform is all about your relationship with your advisor. With a growing number of freshman students, we have to make sure that we have enough advisors to tend to all these people here. If we don't have enough, then they're not going to be able to get the resources that they need, and they're going to have confused students, which is a bad thing. But absolutely, I think a big thing that we need to bring to the rest of Auburn is just more up-to-date things to be with our resources.
Jake.
Hey guys, my name is Jake Yan, and I love that question. I've had a lot of experience with this rising crazy admission race that we're in this world today. I'm a student recruiter, and so in the Quad Center I see the hard work the advisors are doing right now to make sure that we recruit students from all different backgrounds, from all across the country. The reality is we are a land-grant institution. We need to be focused on the students that are from Alabama, making sure that we serve the people of this state. And so my platform, again, it addresses this as well, because when we have so many students come in, especially the freshman class, parking and housing can get really, really difficult with that. So throughout the rest of the debate, I'm going to talk a lot about how we can fix parking, how can we address housing in the city and also on our campus. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jake, you'll have 1 minute to answer this question, and Owen, you'll have 45 seconds to rebuttal. How do you plan on engaging with different pockets of the students on a diverse campus with your administration to reach every student, no matter their affiliation or identity, should you be elected?
Yeah, it's a really great question, especially as someone going for a position like SGA president. It's really important that this position represents all different types of students, not just one. When SB 129 was passed, the bill that targeted DEI in colleges and higher education across the state, I talked to one of my really good friends on the campaign who's helping me out, Phaedra Peter, who's the chair of the DEI committee. We decided we were going to go as best we can Monday nights to BSU and listen to the students that might not have that voice spread as much with this legislation coming in. I was also the one that worked with her to change the name so that we can continue to have a DEI committee in Senate, because that work is what is really important, so that SGA is not just representing, like I said, one type of student, but all different types. I really want to be the most accessible SGA candidate, SGA president that's ever been, and we talk about open office hours out in the concourse. I know I've watched some old debates, that's a really popular thing to say, that I'm going to do my office hours outside in the concourse. Trust me guys, it's on video now. If I don't do it, impeach me.
Amazing. Owen, you have 45 seconds to rebuttal.
Thank you. Absolutely. Auburn is a large institution with over 33,000 students that attend here. SGA president is a designed position to serve all of those students, not just one group of people. In this role, we're trying to do it to serve everyone in this. This isn't just about me or one candidate. This is about something that's bigger than that. And in doing that, we want to bring SGA out of the student center. We want to bring it to the rest of campus and what that means is going and meeting students where they're at. We want to meet you, whether it's outside or on the concourse, or go attend your meetings. We want to bring what we're doing to the rest of the organizations here so that they can do more of what they're trying to do.
Owen, you will have 1 minute to respond, and then Jake, you will have 45 seconds to rebuttal. What policies or changes do you believe need to be prioritized when advocating for mental health and wellness for all students on campus?
Absolutely. I think that goes back to the point that I just said. This position is designed to serve all students, and that means meeting them where they're at. Some students are intimidated to come meet with an SGA group or come to a meeting in the student center or anything like that, so we need to go out and meet them where they're at. That means going to find them in an environment that's not intimidating. That means being on the concourse there to listen, not to badger them by just trying to get their vote for a week. This position is meant to help people with that, and a big thing that we're trying to do in cabinet is bring a new AVP that's all about just mental health. Going to find out what is bothering students, how can we serve them better, what resources can we provide to them that will make their experience here better.
Mental health is very, very important, and I think that a lot of the issues that come with that for students, especially in the involvement bubble, come from people feeling like their concerns are not being heard. And like Owen was saying, like once a week, SGA is really, really good at getting people's attention, really good at asking of people things, asking for their vote and asking to come into their chapter meetings and asking to take over their Instagram. The rest of the weeks of the year, we need to be the organization that's fighting for them. And if people can see that, that we're talking about bigger issues, that's what my campaign has been all about, talking about parking and housing and being accessible to the rest of campus. If people can see that, I really like Owen's idea of the mental health AVP. It's a really great idea. But we can be the organization that fights for those students, and they know that there's not just no one out there fighting for them.
Thank you. Jake, you will have 1 minute to answer the question, and Owen, you will have 45 seconds for your rebuttal. Many students struggle to find safe, affordable, and comfortable housing on campus. Do you see this as a notable issue, and if so, how would you work to improve the housing circumstances on and off campus for Auburn students?
This is the most notable issue. Housing has been, like I said, the most pivotal cornerstone of this campaign. I lived in the Hill my freshman year. It was such a great experience, and the last couple of years, a lot of that's been torn down. Cambridge became unusable, and we've purchased apartment complexes that are off campus, and we label them on-campus master leases. I want to work with the administration to push for more on-campus housing like they want the ones they were building on the Haley Concourse. It was really loud at kickoff. It was really loud on the concourse today campaigning, but it's going to be worth it. But the bigger problem lies in the city, and there's so many walkable options. There used to be so many walkable options for students to live at in the Auburn City and then come into campus. But now they're being replaced with high-rises, McMansions. My apartment's being torn down in a few months to build this gigantic high-rise. I won't be able to afford it. So what we need to do is hold those developers accountable, work with the administration to call them out and say that student housing needs to be a priority. When you come in, there's a lot of game day condos. The billionaires don't need any more.
Thank you, Jake. Owen, you have 45 seconds.
Absolutely. Housing is a huge issue that's coming about in the recent years of Auburn, and with record numbers of freshman applicants coming in, we have to do something about it. And our focus in our campaign, while we absolutely need to have more affordable on-campus options, the bigger issue is off-campus housing. Majority of Auburn students live off-campus, so that's going to be our main target with this position. What we're trying to do is work with administration. Auburn already master leases a lot of apartments downtown from other private owners. What we want to do is try to push administrators to do that more. We want more of the university doing their job so that students can benefit from having a larger institution that has a lot of resources to use.
Thank you.
Owen, you will have 1 minute to answer the question, and Jake, you'll have 45 seconds to rebuttal. Because the university and city are so intertwined, what is one way you would use your platform of leadership to serve the city of Auburn at large and connect the two groups in a mutually beneficial way?
Absolutely. This is a big part of our platform, our point, Better Family, which is all about collaborating with the city of Auburn and bringing the university into the city as well. One initiative that we want to bring in this position is implementing a campus-wide organization service day for the community of Auburn. Not only will this unite a lot of campus organizations to work together and be together and build a lot of community that is the Auburn family, but it will also bring us out there to serve the greater community that is Auburn to benefit a lot of people in this community. But that's one example of a lot of different service initiatives that we're trying to bring.
I think there's a big opportunity for SGA already internally to be the hands and feet of the university. The EXP branch was created a few years ago for students that maybe weren't going to be able to be in freshman forum or lobby board, but they still needed an opportunity to serve, still need an opportunity to be in SGA. It's lain dormant for a few years. I don't know if anyone's even in it right now. This organization, this branch of SGA is, what I want to do is use that as a volunteer pool for organizations in the campus. If they need people help with setup on tables or anything like that, but also in the city, so they can go out and reach the Auburn people and the students and be the hands and feet, like I said, of SGA.
Thank you. Jake, you'll have 1 minute for an answer. Owen, you'll have 45-second rebuttal. What do you currently recognize as the most prominent issue that we haven't already addressed for students on campus, and how do you plan to solve it?
Yeah, I mean, we talked a lot about housing, and again, like I said, that's one of my pivotal campaign points, but parking goes hand in hand with that. I think so many students are frustrated with this system that we have now, and because of that, I joined the Parking Appeals Committee because I was interested in that. And so I voted on whether or not you got a parking ticket. If you sent one in, I try my best. But when I saw that frustration, I also passed legislation in the Senate this past year to allow students to pay off their parking tickets with community service hours. We went across the aisle in cabinet, we researched, we worked with Impact. It passed unanimously, but administration didn't implement it. And that's something from day one that I'm gonna fight for because it's worth it. It helps the community, and we talked about reaching the city earlier. It helps students. $50 can mean a lot more to some students than the people in this room. And so that's really what I wanna fight for, parking, because, like we said, talk about housing, because students are having to move farther away, they're having to drive in now. Because there's less walkable options, so it all goes hand to hand.
Absolutely. I think every major problem that Auburn is facing right now and will face in the future comes from more students coming here and us not being up to date with what we're doing right now to serve all of them. So what that looks like, for one thing that we haven't talked about yet, is registering for classes. Students aren't able to get into the classes they need to be because there's so many of them and not enough seats in the room. What we're trying to do with this is provide an easy way to access resources so students can get help quickly and not be overwhelmed by not being able to know what classes they need to get into.
Thank you.
Owen, you will have 1 minute for your closing remarks. Why would you make a good SGA president?
Absolutely. So some words that I live by come from Matthew 20, verse 28, and that is, the Son of Man came not to be served, but to serve, and use his life as a ransom for many. I've lived my life after those words, and we're passionate about serving others and serving students. I've gone about my 2 years in SGA and this past year as an AVP in the cabinet side to serve my students well that I'm leading, and also use our work to give out to the rest of the students at Auburn. What we're trying to do in this position and this role is serve something that's bigger than any one person. We're trying to serve the community that is Auburn and makes the Auburn family. But we just want to serve students. We're here to give back to them because that's what makes this place so special.
Thank you. Jake, you have 1 minute.
Being up here, running for SGA president, has been the honor of a lifetime. I love this place. Some of my earliest memories come from my grandfather. He would call about Auburn, and he would, Auburn recruiting for basketball. This was before Bruce Pearl, this was before Janai, and then, #1 ranking. We weren't very good. And he would always be like, this is gonna be our year. This is gonna be our year. We got the new recruit. And it was that unrelenting optimism that this place can be better, that we can work for different solutions. And I think that nothing, my public speaking skills, there's nothing I could say on my resume that's gonna say like I'm gonna be the best candidate, but it's my ability to listen and learn from the students of Auburn. In my time in SGA, people talked about parking and housing to me. My friends who have no involvement in anything, not SGA, not anything like mainstream, they would always complain to me about this. And that's what Auburn needs, a president that's going to tackle real issues and be honest and open. Tell students when they're not gonna be able to get it done. Tell students when administration said no. The reason why people are so frustrated with SGA is because they don't feel like we're listening to them. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, we will have a brief intermission to prepare for the Miss Auburn candidates, as well as introduce a new process in our voting system for this year. Sam Lagan, our Director of Elections, will be explaining this for us.
A little hard to read with the lighting, but I've got it all ready to go. So Auburn University SGA now uses ranked choice voting in elections, which is a way of ensuring that the winning candidate has broad support. This is a little bit on how it works. Voters will rank candidates in the SGA election using ranked choice voting in order of preference. On election day, the votes are counted based on first choice votes. If a candidate has more than 50% of the first choice votes, then they win right away. If no candidate has more than 50%, the candidate with the fewest first choice votes is eliminated. Voters who picked that candidate as their first choice will have their votes reallocated to their second choice candidate. This process continues with the lowest ranked candidate being eliminated and votes redistributed to the second choice until one candidate has the majority, which is more than 50% of the vote. Now, why use ranked choice voting? We use it because it ensures the winner has broader support than just plurality. It encourages more thoughtful voting, and voters can rank their true preferences to ensure that the elected SGA representative has wide support among the student body. The process encourages students to get to know every candidate and to use their voice. On voting day, you may be asking, where do I cast my vote? For the Auburn SGA Spring 2025 elections, you will vote using the university's designated online voting portal. The portal can be found using the link aub.ie/SGA vote. The voting period will last on Friday from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Voting is done online through the Auburn University SGA portal. This can be accessed with logging in with your Auburn credentials. Auburn SGA's Election Council gives out I voted stickers to students who vote in the spring elections. These stickers are a fun way to show that you participated in the democratic process here at Auburn and a popular part of the elections tradition. When you vote online in the SGA elections, head to a spot where you can pick up your I voted sticker. We will have locations at the Student Center next to the Aubie statue, at the Edge at Central Dining, and outside of Louder Hall. You'll be able to grab these stickers from 7 a.m. to 12 tomorrow. It's a cool way to participate in the election process and a little something fun to carry with you after having your voice heard. Thank you.
The last portion of this evening will include hearing from your Miss Auburn candidates. Please join me in welcoming your first candidate, Kendall Anderson.
Kendall, you will have 1 minute for opening remarks, 1 minute and 30 seconds to answer your question, and 1 minute for closing remarks. Begin with your opening remarks.
War Eagle, my name is Kendall Anderson, and I'm humbled to be standing before you with even the opportunity to give back so much to the university that has given so much to me. My platform is completely centered on getting students plugged into smaller organizations. As an Auburn student, I've had the privilege of serving in some organizations that many of you might know of, namely Freshman Forum, SGA, and the War Eagle Girls and Plainsman. But I've also had the opportunity to serve in the College of Forestry, which I'm a part of, and I've enjoyed that work so much, even though it's the work that I think most students don't know me for. My platform is centered on highlighting organizations like my organizations in the College of Forestry that are small and whose work maybe goes unnoticed but is equally important to the rest of campus.
Thank you. Kendall, what are a few ways you plan to promote organizations and communities on campus in order to aid students in finding their place in Auburn?
Absolutely. My first point is titled The Path You Pursue, and with that point, one of my main initiatives would be to create opportunities for smaller organizations to learn more about what advertising should look like. So creating opportunities for those organizations that don't necessarily know how to recruit students, teaching them what advertising and tabling can look like on campus. And then my second point, the obstacles you overcome, is geared towards the student side of things. For students who go out for larger organizations and don't get a place in those organizations. I think that we need to set up a system for feedback for those students, so interview feedback the morning after callouts, and also feedback showing students what other organizations might be options for them in their Outlook email the day after callouts if their name doesn't get called.
Thank you, Kendall. For your closing remarks, why would you make a good Miss Auburn? You have 1 minute.
I'm not one to stand up here and say that I'm any more deserving of this role than the other 4 women who are running for it as well. They are all incredible, and I'm just so humbled to be running alongside them. All of that to say, I love this university so much. I applied to 20 schools and chose Auburn. That's how much I love it. And I would just absolutely love to have the opportunity to give back, like I said, to the university that has given so much to me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now join me in welcoming your second candidate, Ellen Cannell.
Ellen, you will have 1 minute to deliver your opening remarks, 1 minute and 30 seconds to answer your question, and 1 minute for closing remarks. You may deliver your opening remarks.
War Eagle, my name is Ellen Cannell, and I'm just so honored to be able to stand before you with the opportunity to run for Miss Auburn. My platform is all about engagement and just highlighting the resources that Auburn has that we can give to different areas of the Auburn family. So you've got those who will follow you, those who came before you, and then those around us. So much of my Auburn experience has been characterized through service, and more so the relationships that I've been able to form through that service. And that is exactly why I want to highlight the different ways that we as a student body can engage with each of those areas of the Auburn family.
Ellen, you'll have 1 minute and 30 seconds to answer this question. Who is someone you feel has inspired you during your time at Auburn and would influence your term as Miss Auburn?
In the fall, I had the honor of serving as the campaign manager for Abigail Stevenson when she ran for Miss Homecoming. And so much of what she stood for when she ran for Miss Homecoming is exactly what inspired a lot of my platform. Everything that she did was about gratitude and thankfulness and just giving back to all the people that had gotten you where you are. And that is exactly how I feel about Auburn and what I want to do through this position with the platform. And so Abigail is just the first thing that comes to mind whenever I think of the person that has influenced my Auburn experience and everything it means to me.
Thank you, Ellen. You will have 1 minute to deliver your closing remarks. Why would you make a good Miss Auburn?
Just like Kendall said, every one of these women is so deserving, and it is an honor to just even be considered for this role, as it would be such an honor to have the platform to engage with each of these different parts of campus that I've mentioned. I think I have had the opportunity during my time here to serve in a variety of roles, which have given me a holistic view of all the different ways that Auburn has a reach within that family, and just getting a more holistic approach to the feedback that we receive. You've got students in SGA that are giving a lot of that feedback, but there's a huge demographic of students that you never receive feedback from because maybe they don't feel comfortable with it. So a lot of my goal for Miss Auburn would be to make it a more personable role, a less intimidating way that you can get that feedback out and get it implemented into SGA to just further that engagement.
Thank you.
Now join me in welcoming your third candidate, Sophie Marino.
Sophie, you will have 1 minute for opening remarks, 1 minute and 30 seconds to answer your question, and 1 minute for your closing remarks. You may begin.
Well, War Eagle, everyone. My name is Sophie Marino, and I am so honored and so humbled to be a top 5 Miss Auburn candidate this year. My platform basically started just about my second night of my Camp War Eagle during the pep rally in Jordan-Hare Stadium when Coach Bruce Pearl was our guest speaker and stood up in front of the entire Camp War Eagle session and said, "Here's my Auburn personal email." And he gave us the email and he said, "Use that email me whenever, and I will help you get connected at Auburn." And my platform really was rooted in that. I had to look inward and I was like, oh my goodness, this is what I want to do for the Auburn family. This is what I want to do for the Auburn community. And so my platform, Soar with Sophie, just directly emphasizes that I want to be that connector person to help people get to where they want to go.
Thank you.
You will have 1 minute and 30 seconds to answer this. Sophie, how can you help students find their why at Auburn?
Absolutely. So my first point is start with your why. And I feel like as Auburn students, everyone says like, know your why before you even get plugged into Auburn's community. But truly, you have to start with your why and look inward. And so by genuinely just asking freshmen students or sophomore students or maybe students who are thinking about changing their major, just what
what are your pillars? What are your foundational pillars? And for me, that's connecting people. That's helping people find resources to help them build the confidence to take that next step and achieve their goals, whether that's through leadership, philanthropy, or service. So you have 1 minute to deliver your closing remarks.
Why would you be a good Miss Auburn?
I think I'm going to echo the rest of the other two candidates. I mean, we truly are a close-knit group, and all 5 of us are just so incredible, and we all embody the Auburn family. But truly, growing up in Auburn and being raised in Auburn, I have truly learned what it means to be a part of the Auburn family, and I just want to echo that as Miss Auburn and help people and students from everywhere, not just Auburn, find alumni to get connected with, utilize Auburn resources, and just make the most of their 4 years at Auburn, helping students realize that whatever their goal may be, the sky's the limit and you can truly soar.
Thank you.
Now join me in welcoming your 4th candidate, Riley Parman.
Riley, you will have 1 minute for opening remarks, 1 minute and 30 seconds to answer your question, and 1 minute for closing remarks. You may begin.
Awesome, thank you so much. War Eagle, y'all, my name is Riley Parman, and I'm so honored to stand in front of you today as a top 5 candidate for Miss Auburn. I'm from Kansas City, Missouri, and I would have never really imagined this when I first set foot on Auburn's campus without having a single friend. My platform, Rooted with Riley, is all about giving students the tools to identify their passions so that they can pair that with their education and better serve our campus, our community, and the world. For me, that looks like my Hunger Studies minor, which I've used in the Hunger Solutions Institute through a research fellowship, but I've also gotten to use internationally through an Auburn study abroad with the tribe in Fiji, which was pretty cool. But for y'all, that might look like a passion for sustainability, a passion for political science, a passion for sports and recreation. The point of this platform is that Auburn has the resources to uplift that passion and to lead to meaningful stewardship.
Thank you. Riley, what are a few ways that you've seen service impact students' lives on Auburn's campus?
Oh my goodness, yes. Service is absolutely my favorite thing that I've gotten involved in on Auburn's campus. I'm a volunteer at Our House Auburn, where I've served for the past 3 years and get to work with students in public housing on reaching their academic and spiritual potential. And just with the students that I've worked alongside, a lot of them are elementary education majors, and they've seen this as an opportunity to take a more non-traditional route to get real experience in the things that they care about. AU Involve is a wonderful place for students to reach out to organizations like Impact to get them plugged into areas of service and their areas of passion. But mostly when it comes to the issue of service, or the benefit of service is a better thing to say, I think that serving in the areas that you care about can be really empowering. My platform caters to the disbelief in students' ability to solve big problems. We think that we are too small to interact with things like world hunger, poverty, a lack of adequate housing, but in reality that's not true, and the Auburn experience directly contradicts the belief that we are too small to solve big problems. And I think that service can give students a taste of what it looks like to really interact with those issues that they care about.
Thank you, Riley. You will have 1 minute for closing remarks. Why would you be a good Miss Auburn?
Awesome. I'm going to say what everybody else said. I have loved getting to know the 4 girls that I'm sitting next to right now. Each of them embodies the spirit of Auburn in such a unique and meaningful way, and it is a joy to call them not only my fellow candidates, but also my friends. When it comes to why I believe that I would make a good Miss Auburn, I think that really relates to what I believe Miss Auburn should walk as. I believe that she should elevate herself to being a role model, but not losing that taste of accessibility. I think that Grace has done a wonderful job with that this year, and I think that the spirit of Auburn that Miss Auburn seeks to emulate leaves big shoes to fill. I'm not going to stand up here and say that I filled those today, but I will say that I've surrounded myself with people and will continue to surround myself with people who will continue to push me in that direction. I'm so thankful for this opportunity, and I hope that if any of you have interacted with people in pink shirts, they have made you feel loved, chosen, and seen as the vital part of this institution that you are. Thank y'all so much.
Thank you.
Now join me in welcoming your final candidate, Vera Smith-T.
Vera, you will have 1 minute for opening remarks, 1 minute and 30 seconds to answer your question, and 1 minute for closing remarks. You may begin.
Hi, War Eagle, y'all. My name's Vera Smith-T, and again, not to sound like a broken record, but I truly am so honored and humbled to have the choice and the option to run for your Miss Auburn. My platform centers around kind of my individual Auburn story through a simple email sent to the strings faculty here at Auburn. I was given the opportunity to major in harp, which was a non-pre-existing major here at Auburn. And my platform really focuses on encouraging students to, number one, find their niche, find their passion here on campus, to not be afraid to reach out to faculty and those in leadership positions to help them plug in, and then finally to encourage community and relationships here at Auburn, because I believe that this is what makes Auburn truly the great place that it is.
You will have 1 minute and 30 seconds to answer this. What are a few ways you believe communication between faculty and students can improve, and how can you facilitate that?
Yeah, so I, through being a double major in biomedical sciences and music, have been given the opportunity to sit in a lot of different classrooms, whether that's music theory or that's organic chemistry, whether it's a classroom with 400 people or a classroom with 20 people. And through that, I've seen the ways that professors can interact with students in a personal and life-giving way. And Auburn faculty does that so well. But a few ways I would really like to improve this are through giving students the opportunity to really get to know their professors. Office hours are such a great way to do this, but I would really love to create open houses in each college for professors to come and share their individual stories, and giving students the opportunity to attend those, because I believe that this would not only encourage students to get to know their professors, but also just encourage them to not be afraid to pursue their dreams in whatever way that might be.
Thank you, Vera. You will have 1 minute for closing remarks. Why would you be a good Miss Auburn?
Again, like just the 4 most incredible women I've ever met who came before me. I am just so humbled. This is a place that I never thought I would be. And I've just had people tell me, you know, this is just such an honor to even be in the conversation. And I truly believe that. But what I've been telling people on the concourse, and they ask me kind of, you know, what even is Miss Auburn, is that Miss Auburn serves as a liaison between students, alumni, and faculty. And I'd like to add one more. I really believe that Miss Auburn can serve as a liaison with the community, and whether through, you know, going to schools and reading stories to students, or just creating, you know, community and Miss Auburn relationships, I would love for the community all around Auburn to just know what Miss Auburn does, and through that, what a great place Auburn is. So thank you all so much, and War Eagle.
Thank you.
That concludes tonight's debate. Thank you to all the candidates for participating and running safe campaigns to engage their peers. On behalf of SGA Elections, I want to thank you for attending in person and watching at home, who watched at home that tuned into the debate tonight. Sorry, guys. Thank you to Eagle Eye TV, the Auburn Plainsman, and WEGL 91.9 for moderating tonight, and Eagle Eye for their willingness to put on this production for us. Please make sure your voice is heard tomorrow by voting at aub.ie/SGA vote from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Check out Auburn SGA social media pages for information on each candidate and how to vote. Thanks again, and War Eagle.
And that concludes Auburn's SGA debate. We'll return here tomorrow for our election call-out show. Eagle Eye TV coverage begins at 9 p.m. Central Time, and call-outs will commence at 10 p.m. I'm Ben Bradfield.
And I'm Alice Estes. Thank you for watching, and War Eagle.